The way I see it is real poetic. You've got the sun shining, putting all this energy on the planet. Plants are sitting there harvesting that energy, converting it into simple sugars, putting a little bit out there in the nectar for the pollinator to come get. And then the honeybee just distills it into these little pots of gold, man. It's amazing. I thought he taught me everything there was to know about beekeeping, which, you know, if you think you know everything about something, then you definitely know nothing, which is about where I was. But I had no clue. I just knew I loved it. I had no clue this is what I would do in my life. I mean, I literally had no clue what I was going to do in my life until it happened. Basically, this old fella, Roy Hightower, wanted to put his bees on our family's property, and my dad and my brother and I would go out there and work on the weekends, and kept the bees, loved it, always was eating honey, and you can see the light shining through, you know, that little stained glass, different color honey tasted differently, just hooked me.
Roy would work with Ted and me and teach us about beekeeping, how to construct the hives, and a lot about the life of bees and how things worked, and then of course extracting the honey, and I was extremely interested in it, but not as much as Ted. I would say his was more of a passion. He really was taken to it.
So I gave her the jars of honey. She puts them in her store. Another store sees those jars and says, oh, well, you know, I want to carry that honey. And they called me, and it's like, it's Kelly Parker at Parker's Market. She's like, you know, I want to carry that honey. I was like, okay. And I tell her a price and bring her a case of honey. Everything's done in the kitchen, you know, bottling, labeling, everything. And then another store, another. And then over the course of 2 years, there's about 25 stores. And my friends who had been to the stores were like, those were the nicest stores I've ever seen. You need to do this as a business, Ted. You need to give it a go. So in 2002, January, I printed a price sheet for the first time, went to the Atlanta gift market, set up a booth, took a glass beehive up there, and presented my little honey, my candles, and my lip balms. And then that began my real wholesale business.
Ted and I drove up to Athens, where there are 4 PhD entomologists that raise bees. And we brought home 20 bee colonies, which are called nukes. Each one has like 30, 40,000 bees in it. So you multiply that times 20 and you got at least 500,000 bees. And we came home in Ted's SUV, and the bees didn't all stay in their boxes. And so they were walking all over the car, and it got to be dark, and I could feel them walking on me, we went through some little town, and there was a roadblock. There were 2 police cars, lights flashing, and of course we pulled up and stopped, and they put their flashlights in the back window, and they all could see was thousands and thousands of bees, and they went, move on, get out of here, guys. So we did. We got home just fine,
And then from there, it like quintupled, and then quadrupled, and then doubled, and then doubled, and then it slowed down a little bit. But it was wild because I really didn't have a business background. Lynn Voss was part of the Small Business Development Center, and she made me cry the first time I went in there, because I'm like, we're selling so much, because I'm like sales top line, you know, and she's really about, you know, looking at the numbers and the bottom line, and I didn't understand any of this stuff. I just knew I was selling a lot of honey, so I must be doing great. And
well, it's fun to watch a company like Savannah Bee come into being and take off. And one of the things that I work with Ted with is, and he'll laugh because he knows I said this many times to him, is be careful and don't grow yourself out of business. So it was strategies to sustain the growth.
And I have been through the trial by fire of, real life business school by running and growing this business. But yeah, I couldn't have done it without her, that's for sure. But anyway, that's what happened. I mean, it was a wild hang-on ride. We were in my kitchen, then we went to this little Oatland Island, little Kwanzaa hut, little piece of a building, and
Creative Loafing, which is now Connect Savannah, did an article on him, and I read that article, and I knew that we had some beekeeping equipment upstairs, but I had no idea what it was. And so I contacted him and asked him if he would come out and tell me what we had and tell me what we needed to start keeping bees. So that's what he did, and it sort of started from there. He taught me how to keep bees, and then shortly after that, he got a job with us as a naturalist, a teacher naturalist, and he stayed with us for, I don't know, Max, how long?
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, 2 years, I think. And during that time period, he got Savannah Bee Company started.
Really, as far as jobs I've had, it's the least stressful. But we do well. We work hard and we meet our goals, and we make people happy. Everyone that leaves here with a smile on their face. That's a really good feeling. So to call it work is a stretch.
The most rewarding is that we're actually producing a product that is helping someone. So it's not, a $200 piece of china. It's, it's honey. It's going to speed up their metabolism. It's going to break down digestion. It's going to make them healthier. And then the body care, it's going to be the best thing that you can apply to your skin. So we're not just like producing something that's just nothing. It's actually bettering someone. And I don't feel bad when I tell customers, like, this is the store you can come in and splurge. Like, it's not going to be bad for you. At the end of the day, I go home and I can lay down in my bed and say, I did something good today.
look how pretty it is. Just beautiful, brand new wax. So all the worker bees are female. The queen is born a worker. She's fed this stuff called royal jelly, which I take to be this sort of concentrate of the pollen that they secrete from this gland on the back of their head, the young bees do. And so you have workers up to 80,000 in a hive. There's only about 15,000 in here. And then that's a drone. And the drones, there's not many of them and they don't do much. There's one right there. They don't have a stinger. And they eat honey and pollen. And they all go hang out like a bunch of rude boys on a limb in what they call a drone congregation area. And it's a really mass of bees every day. And they're waiting for a virgin queen to fly by. And if one does, they chase her, and they call it a drone comet. So this is like a little mini factory. And they've been doing this wonderful job for so long, like 100 million years. And they're working with the plant world. So they play this critical role. To make a pound of honey, they have to visit 2 million flowers. The nectar is this liquid that starts out in a flower from the nectary, which is about 80% water, 20% sugars. They bring it back to the hive, extract and fan the water out of it till it's about 17% water, and then it's honey. And then it's good literally forever. It never spoils. You can feel like how the sound of them, that you're here, just the way they wiggle, the stripes, the color, the smell, just that hum of them flying in the air. It's just peaceful. And you can like get lost in a beehive, and I think that's what happened to me. Still lost. It's a beehive, man. Everybody in this company, including the bees, and it's just this whole interconnected thing that I mentioned earlier. Like honeybees do differentiated duties. You know, they're all the same people, but you know, some do this, some do that, just depending on how old they are, basically. And you need all of those things, just like you do organs and things in your body. And that's how it is in the business. Like, it ain't me. It's us. You know, it's like a beehive, literally. So.